Hey yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Masquerade, and today I'll be talking a little bit about how I believe the meta will be evolving towards GD05. I'll just be resuming whatever meta we had before, and afterwards I'll be talking a lot about the set 5 and the cards I most like about it. To start things off, and just to recap, everyone, Anxia is banned. You cannot use it anywhere. Guntank and M1 Ashtray are a pair band, so you can't play them together. Amuro and Mikazuki can't be paired together, so Blurple is dead. And the restriction to the 2 drops, where you can only play one of this and up to 4 copies of their own card. The meta is gonna change up a lot. Let's start here for the Perth, the smaller regional out of them all. Shoutouts to Spira for metaship.gg. It's a really good site. I really enjoy using it to check out lists, and he's really fast on showing them. So looking at the top 8, okay, these won't play in the same way. Okay, the meta is not gonna change up that much so that this deck can play, because they literally can start running 4 of the Zaku ones that are level 1 cost, and honestly they make the same impact. The bigger thing about this list will be Anksha, because they reduce 50% of the pings they had before. So right now they may have even play more Show of Resolve, or even turn into a level 3 focused list, or even level 4 more focused list. The aspect is that in this kind of lists you'll be running more of, for example, the Zaku that dies spawns a token. Maybe the Zaku one I mentioned prior in the place of GM. But yeah, the deck is gonna be still strong, not as strong though, because of the action nerf. It really hits the deck hard as hell. League Military Norn is gonna stay in the meta. Blue Purple Pink is dead. I'm not even gonna show the list, you just know that the pair is really bad. Blue Red Neozing is gonna be strong, especially because right now we have a slower meta, which people won't be rushing down as much, or as dumbly, let's say. And they got a big buff on the Darkness Singer card. I'll be showing it in a few seconds. Blue Purple is dead. Red Green Celestial Beings is gonna become really strong too, but it's still gonna have the problem of being a mid-range deck that doesn't, if it doesn't see link to link, it's dead. Blue Art Unicorn Blockers. I don't like the deck, but I still believe that the deck can be meta, although we have a lot of good cards. Red White Control is the one surviving from the top 4 in this kind of list. League Militaire 2. Red Green, I believe it still can play. Yeah, they play 8, but they can 8, no, 12. Okay, so this kind of list can't happen and won't happen maybe, but other lists of Red Green Xeon I've seen is really good. So as you can see, Green White still topped a lot, and Blue Purple League Military still topped a lot, and these decks are gonna get huge buffs, especially because they cannot be rushed down, so they can become either more control-y to late game, or more mid-range and less control. In this list, again, Blue-Red is gonna get buffed, Blue-White is gonna get buffed. I think I showed how the meta is gonna circulate around, but what is the biggest the biggest things about this set that are gonna make it so meta defining? It's especially because you don't have to consider Blurple anymore as a matchup, and you don't have to consider 1 Year War as oppressive as it was before. So, to start things off, we have the big boss, Strike Freedom. Strike Freedom is really strong. It draws essentially 2 cards, because this damage is an enemy card, so you can even just destroy a shield with one of your Winnies, and you will draw a card. And the bottom deck is really strong, because you are replacing the 2 cards in here to bottom deck 1 unit. Bottom deck is way more strong than bouncing to hand, because they won't be able to play it next turn or anymore in the game. Yes, it is the lowest level unit, but you can remove the others and remove the lowest level unit per se, while you are removing the remainder of the board. I think this is really strong, because it's, although we have now 8 Kiras, during pair, you can even play your third pilot in here the following turn and just draw 2, and then following turn activate the during pair attack. So I believe that this card is really strong. Other than that, I believe that Orb essentially is getting really big buffs because of this Kira Strike Rouge, for example. It's a 3/4, but it links with Kira, which you have 8 links now. So it becomes really strong in the future. Right here you have its own blocker, which is really good. The Reducer, which also bounces a level 4 or lower. I don't really love it, but it's a good card. It's a decent card placed. We have, if you have an Orb Pilot to draw a card, this is strong. And then we have the League Military buffs, which is this unit essentially positioning itself in the side of V-Dash. This is really strong because you can swing twice with a minimal requirement of suspending 2 parts. This links with Uzo, which means you're gonna get at least 1 part right away. So if you have another one or even play another unit from hand, you can just restand it easily. And it has repair 2, so you can eliminate a unit, go face, and still repair 2. This card is gonna make League Military a bit more aggressive and more in the style it's trying to play right now, which is more mid-rangey. I don't really love the biological CPU stuff. Like, of course, dealing 2 damage with ping is really good, but you have to choose one of your other active Earth Alliance units. So you have to have an Earth Alliance unit that costs 1 or 2 and play this only on turn 6, which is not the best. And dealing 2 ping damage right now, although it's really good against some decks, it's really terrible against the others. So I don't believe that the deck is gonna see a lot of play, but Titans right here got a huge buff. Yes, it's a 1/4, but it's a Titan straight link, which says on link I get AP plus 2 and repair 1. This with Sarah becomes a 4/5 at turn, with repair 1 at turn 3. Really strong compared to the Masala. The Masala was a 3/2, I believe. It has the same type of stats in terms of the stat product. But the thing is, on link with Sarah, it becomes a 4/3, and this becomes a 4 with repair 1. Repair 1, and this becomes a 4/5, which may be really strong. Japan has gotten as an article about this type of decks, Titans and Green White Academy as well. I'm gonna try to find it, but I'm not gonna find it in this video. We also have this reduction if you have an on-blue pilot, new type pilot in play. This costs -2. Not that strong, to be honest, because you gotta have the Amuro green to actually take value of it. And we have the Ashtray, which honestly it's like really great in the fact that you can play this in a deck with Orb to reduce the Akatsuki and still have ping. But in general it's not that great. Now we have here the 2 LRs from green. I really like New Gundam. New Gundam as a card is really cool because you can essentially swing twice with the new Amuro 7/7 and kill. The problem is you have to play Londobel cards, and honestly I don't like Londobel cards. We'll see them in a minute, but that's my whole problem with this card overall. I haven't tested much of the deck, but what I've seen of the deck, you have to play a lot of cards that are bad just to enable a card that is great. Not even it's game changing, yeah, but it's not even like a board wipe. It's like a 2-unit kill with twice breach 5, but yeah, it's not a board wipe. Then we have Caliburn. I really like the fact that this card you can play in an action speed, a unforeseen or something, and essentially reduce the damage by 6. It's really strong. The card is really good, but I still believe that level 8 7 cost is way too high. Yes, it has 7 attack, which passes through almost everything, but you are competing with a card such as Wing Zero, which is a board wipe, deal 3 damage to everything. So it's really difficult for me to actually place this card in a meta. But let's move on. So Londobel cards, I know that this Regizy is really good. Look at the top 3, reveal 1 Londobel card. This new Gundam is decent because if you have 2 or more Londobel in your trash, you place 1 EX resource independent of pair. The problem is, again, you have to play Lonabelle cards until level 5 for these to even activate, and they have to be killed. So yeah, I don't, and you have to play blue green, so you don't have a lot of discard. So it's not even that great of a card because it's a 4/4 that sometimes it will place a EX resource. Yes, it has Breach 3, but you're still playing a mid card just because you are playing the Lonabelle cards. The H2 double bullet I don't like. This neither. This again, it's a bird mode, but for Lonabelle. The deck has to play it specifically because not because of the EX resource, but because it's one of the earliest units. Just like the Jagan, they play 4 of these, not because it's good to run 2/2s, but because you can play it as soon as turn 2, if you go first, turn 1, if you go second. Kyra's Jagan is also a card that I don't like and most people are not running, but still, it's a Lonabelle card and it's not that great. It's similar to other cards we've had. And we have this, which is what makes the deck kind of decent, which is the top deck and 3/3, and it links with Kyra, which is a pilot we ran in Lonabelle usually. Other than that, we have these 2 academy buffs. And you have the Michaelis, which is a 3-cost 3/3. They can swing in the turn it's deployed to a rested unit. It's really strong, but it's academy. So starting with academy, we've got the Whole of Wraith buff. I really like this. I don't love it, but I really like it because the deck itself, it's one of my favorites. But this card is really great. Looking at the top 3 and adding 1 card to hand at level 4 2-cost is really strong, especially because it's statted this way. So the main problem I see is that you're gonna reveal the top 3 and revealing 1 command card, which is something you run really low on your deck. You run around, I don't know, like in this type of deck you even may run 10, but even then you're looking at the top 3 and you should be looking at the top 5 to actually, in terms of probabilities, see 1 command. But yeah, it's really strong to add draw into academy. Remainder of the cards I believe are just really trash. They don't really need. So right now we have the whole MF archetype. The whole MF archetype is really great. Master Gundam is really good because it shows 2 special move command cards which you're gonna play and deal 5 damage to the first card in your opponent's shield area. So it's essentially a suppression independent of your opponent having shields or not. Yes, they can have a base with 6 HP, but other than that, this is still a really great suppression card, and I believe it's gonna make to the deck really well. And then we have even Dragon Gundam here, which activates its main on the card pair with this unit. These unit pilots are essentially unit pilots that can be used and then attached. So yeah, you're gonna use the effect of them and attach them. If you haven't seen MF cards, they're really strong. And then we have a board wipe, which says you may rest 1 of your MF units. If you do, deal 2 damage to all your enemy units whose level is equal to or lower than that unit. This is a board wipe to especially aggro, or the new aggro, because they're gonna run still a lot of units that are level 3 or lower. This is really great, and this also kills all the parts of decks like League Militaire. Phantom Pain, it's a deck that I'm really liking the fact that I see these cards, but it still feels to me like it's not a complete deck. Like you have some pieces that are great, some pieces that are trash. Like I said towards the new Gundam, you're still playing bad cards just to make sure that you can proc your cards that are good. For example, Gaia. If you destroy an animal shield area, the player may discard 1. If they don't, you may deploy 1 Phantom Pain unit card that is level 4 or lower. Yes, you may run no level 4s, and your opponent may not know of that, but it's still a thing that your opponent may gamble on, which is you not having a Phantom Pain unit card. And if you say, okay, I don't have, this literally lost all the value it might have had. So, more MF stuff. Oh, no, this is biological CPU. Like I said, like biological CPU is what is making Phantom Pain, and I don't really like the whole deck. I don't like CB as well, and this card is great, but I don't like CB in general, especially because you're resting CB units. You don't want to rest CB units. If it was like as a League Militaire card, which you have parts that can swing, two-face, etc., it will be great. But you're racing attacking units, 3 attacking units to do 4 damage, not that great. Other than that, you have the Destroy Gunner, which gets reduced to a 6-5, level 6, cost 5, with Breach 3, 6-6. It's strong, but it's not the best, to be honest. Other than that, I believe we have Abyss, which on pair, if your opponent has 4 more cards in their hand, they discard 1. This is strong. This is definitely strong. The problem is our pilot is trash, and most of the other pilots are trash. Like I said, this deck does not really have all the pieces still. Now, moving on to purple, we have this Sazabi, which has suppression, and on attack you may choose one of your units to destroy it. If you do, all enemy players choose one of their non-battling units, so you can essentially swing into a, if they have 2 units, they can swing into a unit, activate its effect, destroy one of their units, and you must destroy the other unit that is standing, for example, even if it has blocker, because this procs before blocker is defined. So this is really strong in certain situations. I still believe that this deck needs your opponent not to know what the cards do, because once you know what the cards do, you'll be playing way more smoothly. And this really gets shut down by any League Military deck, which plays parts, and they say, okay, I'll discard the parts. It's okay. So I like the card, but I don't love it, nor do I love the all char archetype. People are playing this with red and with green. I still believe that green is really great in an aggro form. This is your high end, essentially, and Zeong as well. But I believe that this is not as great as it was before blue-green aggro with Zeong. This is really a really good one drop, and Blurple would be utterly busted if this was in their deck. And this unit battle that deals battle damage to an enemy unit that is level 4 or lower that has no paired pilot, destroy that enemy unit. So essentially you say, oh, you can either take my swing, or I will destroy your blocker, either way. This is really, really strong, and you still place the top 2 cards of your deck into your trash, which, for example, in decks like how was it? Lupus is strong. Minerva is strong. This is a really good card. This is a really techy card. The only problem with this card is that it has 1 HP, but if it didn't have 1 HP, it would be even more busted than it currently is. So I believe the card is really well positioned in a meta, and I believe this is gonna be something I want to buy definitely from a purple white decks. We have this Lupus Rex, which I believe is trash. It's literally the worst LR in this set. And then we have the Sazabi. This triggers the effects of destroy. You destroy one of your units, place 3 cards into your trash, but be careful because you have to choose between one of these 3 cards to add the Neo Xeon unit card to your hand. This is great because you're essentially replacing a rested unit with a card in your hand and a 5/4. I believe that this is really strong, but like I said, I don't like the deck. I believe the deck still has too little of this type of effects, and like if you see the whole combo back to back to back to back turns, it's okay. If you don't, you're screwed. In this page, yeah, you have this, which is like the card you want to destroy, because you don't have a lot of great destroyed effects. You have some decent destroyed effects in these archetypes, but this card is really great because if it's trashed, it goes to your hand. If it's destroyed, it goes to your hand. So essentially, while you're playing the Sazabi, you kill it, you draw it back to your hand, and you may even draw a second card to your hand. So you're playing a 5/4, removing 1 unit from your board, but you're recovering to hand. Yeah, with this little combo, it's gonna be strong. Other than that, like, the deck doesn't really pan out to be that great. Other than that, we have this Destiny, which I believe is still really mid. If you're playing 1 in Minerva, it may be okay, but other than 1, it's not that great. Tekkadan got a blocker for 3. It's really strong, because right now the meta is really slowed, and you don't mind playing these higher hand blockers. And this also is a Tekkadan feed that is a good card, and not like other cards which were mid cards, but they were Tekkadan, so you had to run it in your deck. And then we have this Lupus, which says gain high maneuver. You may choose one of your active Gallahorn, rest it. If you do draw 1, this unit gains a maneuver. So it gains a maneuver either way, even if you don't rest, but it's not that great. And then we have Flores, which is a level 2 killer, which came a little too late. When this card was revealed, we didn't have the information about the restricted ban to 2 drops, and this card was really strong. Right now it's good because it can kill even tokens, especially on Zeong type of matchup, but it's not as great as it was with the previous rule changes. And we even have this Force Impulse, which says on the play from trash, choose 1 Shin and add it to your hand. It's really good because, especially in my initial version of Purple White Control, I played only 9 pilots, and right now that version can become really strong if you can have 10 or even more than 10 pilots in your hand, in your deck in total, because you're recovering pilots. So the deck is gonna stay really strong, and I really like it. Then we have a lot of MF to cover. We have this training Gundam. You may exile two MF units. If you do, choose 1 command card of special move and add it to your hand, and then you set a resource active every turn. It's really good because you can open the action timing to proc other stuff, but there aren't a lot of action time commands from MF. Still, it's your main boss because of the cards you're going to talk about in the end of the commands. Wing 0, which suspends a unit, rests a unit, sorry, and this unit gains suppression. Really good. I believe that this card is gonna fit well, at least 2 in the deck of Wing. Of course, having the other Wing is really strong because it can attack active, it has breach, and etc. But this is a really great addition because the deck still didn't have any type of suppression. Shining Gundam also adds suppression to the deck. It's a 4/5 cost. When you activate a special move command, which you're gonna activate, trust me, you're gonna gain suppression. So essentially it has suppression, and it's a 6/5 plus the dom on it becomes an 8/6. It's really good, but I still don't know its place in the meta because it's really expensive. Gundam Master is a 4-off in the deck because you look at the top. If you destroy a unit, you look at the top 4, and the Cyclone Punch, which is a Shibudi Crockett, reduces 2 AP to a unit. So essentially you are reducing their AP twice because you activate it, you touch it to Gundam Master, and then you activate again on swing. So you're reducing them by 4 AP and essentially killing any unit in the early game and drawing a card. And either they remove it or you keep on removing their cards. Sunrock is really great because it has a Kira kind effect. You have to have another unit in play, but it's really good because it links with the Quattro. Quattro is really great because it's the new Amuro for white, and then Rising Gundam is really strong because it has a Gundam Fighter trait, so it links with everything in MF, and you rest a 4 less HP unit, which is usually it's a level 3 blocker, which is really good. In the whites, I believe that, yeah, like we don't have that much. We have the L sights, which is great. You may choose a rested enemy unit as its attack target, and it's a 5/2, so it can be a 4-cost remover of a link. It's a 1 card for 2. It's great. And we even have the Zolot for MF, which is nice. We have the Kira. In here, the pilots, I really enjoy the pilots in this set. Kira, it's essentially a draw 1, but it can't draw 1 on Ill Strike from STO4. It will be way too broken if it did, but thankfully it doesn't. It's really good still. Even if you have to link this in the other Ill Strike, it's really good to add the consistency of running 8 Kira. And this Andrew is great because it gives repair to one link to Orb. This is why I really like Orb, because any of their units can become repair to units. And then we even have the Kagali, which bounces a unit with 1 HP. It's decent, but I mean, it's not a meta-defining card. And the Lonic, which reduces the damage they take by 1. Also, shoutouts to them by putting this facts for this card right here. It's really great to look at the card itself and then see the whole list. Then we have the Amuro. Once you kill a unit, you recover 2 HP with battle damage. It's really good because with the Grandpa from STO1, This essentially is a 6/6 in your turn. Your unit is 6/6. If it removes a unit that doesn't die, it recovers 2, and by the end of the turn it recovers 2 again. So it can even be essentially a 6/10 in one single turn. It's really, really good. Other than that, we have the Londo Bell, which is trash as a whole pilot, but like you gotta run it if you want to play Londo Bell shit. Prospero is really great because it makes your little freeze blockers a 3/4, which essentially kills Rick Diaz, etc. The card is really good. Now we have the Master Asia pilot, the one of the two only Master Asia pilots. The burst adds a card to hand and you may deploy it as a 3/3. I already talked about this particular card prior, and it deals 2 damage on attack during link. If you activate a command, like I say, like you deal 2 damage because 99% of times you're gonna activate the main slash action of the cards. Then we even have from Phantom Pain the best pilot they have. It's a +2/+0, but it links with the Gaiga Gundam, so it becomes a 5/3, so you need to base, so it can remove almost any base in the game. And you look at the top card, if it's a Phantom Pain card, you may reveal 10 to your hand. So as I said, if the deck is playing more of a controlled version, it will not trigger this as well. If it's playing more of a Phantom Pain kind of deck, it's gonna draw this well, but it's still gonna get mid cards to their hand. That's the whole thing I don't like about the deck. Other than that, we even have a pseudo hero, which gives +2/+2 in the deck if they have 7 or more in trash. This is gonna become really strong once more this card is added into the deck. And we even have the Shara Zumbo, which deploys a Neozean base from your trash. The main base will be, it's not showing here, but it's a 0/6 base that when you destroy a unit you may rest this to play a level 3 for free into the board. So if you link this with the Char and even kill the Cassis Jagoa, I believe it's like that, you may swing, kill the Jagoa, it goes to your hand, activate Axis next, replay it, so you're essentially killing one of their units and you're not killing anything of yours. Or even you can even swing with the Cass in the turn, then swing with the Char and restand it essentially for free. Now moving on to the white pilot. So the Quatre, already talked about this. It's choose one enemy unit that is level 4 or overrides it. Really good, really good. And we have the hero, which I already talked as well. Not that great, but as an effect, but it's more heroes to add into your pool of getting the Wing Gundam turn 6 as fast as possible. So it's going to become more consistent. And then we have the G Fighter pilot, which is draw 1 and discard 1. If you discard a special move command card, which you may have had that from Shining Gundam, you can trigger it. It's really strong. I believe that this deck has a lot of strong cards and a lot of strong options. Out of these, I don't like any set of this because I believe this can be a really strong one-off. You essentially either place 1 EX resource from burst, or in main you choose 1 enemy player and destroy the first 2 cards in the player's shield's area. It's a really good one-off. It can't be more than one-off if you want to actually have a decent deck. From here, we have Reframe Suture, I already talked. Level 1, cost 1, discard 1, draw 2. It's a pseudo overflowing affection, not as strong, but still really good for Red X, because Red X didn't have any access to here. We have the Darkness Finger, which is a 1 cost, deal 2 damage, and even if you have the Master Gundam, it draws a card. I already talked about this. This is dumb. This is a stupid card. I don't know why they printed it. And then we even have Kyoto, which I believe is the one of the best, which gives a unit without breach 3, and you may pair it with a pilot. Like I said, this card is really strong. Then we even have this Widespread Annihilation. It's a good card. On main you can destroy all units that are level 4 or lower. This kills anything and it doesn't even care about the pings themselves. Then we, I believe that the others are trash, and now we're talking about MF again. So Shining Finger is really good. So you rest an enemy unit for less HP and give first strike. So you essentially kill for free a unit, and you can even, this is again a command you can add with the Shining Gundam, and then discard with a Daemon and activate it still. And then one of the best is your Cyclone Punch. It gets a P-2, like I told before. It's really good. This is great. The problem with this card is that you don't link with anything but the general link, and Shining Finger is just way stronger. way stronger. Now, we also have a lot of good bases in this set. This makes sure that 2 or less damage enemy effects are not dealt to orb units, so if they receive 3 damage, they're gonna receive 3 damage, but if they get targeted with 2 or less damage, they won't be damaged at all. This really kills ping, and this is also one of the reasons I believe orb is gonna be strong. White Arc. For League military units, when you activate an effect of a unit, you can rest this base instead. This is strong as a 5th base, but Reinforced Junior is way too strong to spawn apart. So like it can become a 5th base, but it's not gonna be more than that. Rock Elm. It reduces damage done to one of your friendly along the bell. You must activate this beforehand, but this is really good still, and I believe that this is turning out to be what I expected from bases, which is rest this base. Usually cards don't say rest this base, they say like you just activate the effect and you don't rest the base, which is dumb because you may even forget, and it has once per turn instead of resting, which for me it's like a bit dumb. I believe that's even here, yeah, like White Zero, it's just like that. Once per turn you pay 2, if you have a unit to gain a Mariel, you may play a token 2/2 with Rich 1. This is also a strong base because it has 6 HP and it can spawn units. Really good. If you play a lot of Gundam Ariel, because it's not rebuild, it's Ariel. So if there are other than Ariel rebuilds in the deck, you can play them. Finish this off. We have Gertie Lu, which for Phantom Pain units, Link units, they can choose an enemy unit. It can't activate blocker during this turn, so you're linking and you're saying, okay, this unit can't block anything I do. This is gonna be really strong once Phantom Pain becomes actually strong. I don't really like this base from MF. It gives AP +2 if there is a link unit. No, thank no. And finally we have Axis, which was the base I talked before. If one of your units has been destroyed by one of your Neozine card effects during this turn, deploy one Neozine that is level 3 or lower. So the little combo is really strong, but I don't really love the fact that this card is only good with the little combo they have. So yeah, guys, I believe this is gonna be a really big meta change. Like I said, like I believe that Orb is gonna be strong. I believe that Amoros can be strong. I haven't tested out enough yet to tell you what's good, what's bad. MF is gonna be definitely strong because comparing MF to any other archetypes that are currently out there, MF has a lot of strong cards. Other archetypes have to content themselves with bad cards. MF doesn't, which is a thing I really like. I believe that Tekkadan is like in an iffy spot because it got a lot of great support with the blocker and the Floros, but his best matchup, which was aggro, is dead. So, or at least more dead, and people have started not playing it. So yeah. Other than that, I believe Destiny is going to be strong. I believe that this Azabi can even become strong with the correct list. I believe Phantom Pain is not going to do that great right now, but it's going to become strong. And yeah, like even Academy can become strong. Japanese people have been talking about it, and or even just 8 Kiro deck, and League Military is going to be strong. This is my prediction of meta. I didn't make a tier list or anything because I can't make a tier list if I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So yeah, essentially that's it, guys. I'm sorry that the video is really extended. I like to be talking a lot about the cards, although it's from the surface, and this is just my general thought about what I believe the cards are good or bad. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. If you want me to go into more detail of specific situations, I'm gonna launch in Metafy a set review that's gonna talk a bit more about combos, etc. you can do, and not as a vision that is really without testing. I give my opinion, but it's an opinion without any proof of concept, and in that set review I actually apply my proof of concept and actually give you guys real scenarios. So if you guys enjoy it and want to check it out, I'll be launching it in a few days. I don't know how many because I'm still having to present my thesis. I have baptisms, etc. right now, so I really have little to no time to use. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy these final moments of set 4, and if you're an aggro player, your small moments of running 8 vanillas. And if you guys enjoy it, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and makes us grow as a community. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.